Hi, welcome to Open Hand Farm. I'm Penny, and today we're going to plant potatoes. A couple years ago, we planted potatoes in boxes. It was a devastating harvest because there was like nothing there. Everything had rotted, but I'm believing it was because we had put too much straw in the boxes and it retained the water too much. So this year I'm planting in the ground like we did last year, only we're planting in a new spot. And I am going to try one box with potatoes to see how it does without adding straw. This is the garden bed that we call the clothesline garden bed because it is the closest to the clothesline. It's in front of the chicken bed. As you can see, we have some strings laid out. We have compost laid out. We had some cover crop here and we mowed it all down and tilled it under. You can still see a couple of remained twigs over here of some cover crop. We're going to take care of that soon, but we wanted to get our potatoes planted. So what I did is I took a piece of bamboo and I tied a string to it and took it all the way across to the end of the potato row. Then I took my hoe and I cleaned the dirt out under the string and tried to make a straight line. Now, I am going to go in and dig even deeper when I plant a potato. I want all of the soil that is on each side of this string to be available to cover the potato up as it grows. We bought seed potatoes from a local nursery, and if they were small and had chits, which is what these little eyes are called, they're called chits. If they had chits just on one part and they were small, I didn't cut it. If it was a bigger potato and it had chits in different areas, I went ahead and cut them. And then I let them sit so that the cut side gets hard and skinned over. That way they won't rot in the ground. So I'm going to plant these. This is a Dakota potato. We have a golden potato up here, and in the middle we have a purple potato. I'm using my chart that I made. I'll leave a link to the video that talks about how I made these charts. And I know that this is where the potatoes go. And my little note tells me that they need to be planted 12 to 18 inches apart. I decided I'm going to plant 12 inches apart. Now you want the cut side of the potato down. So I'm going to dig as deep as I can with my hands. We did till under this, so it's pretty loose down there. And I'm just going to cover up that potato. And I'm going to dig again. And put the dry side down and cover up my potato. Now, as the potatoes start showing and they get about 6 inches tall, I'll start moving the soil in and putting around it until it gets taller, and then eventually we'll have it all packed on top of it so that it has all this loose soil to grow its potatoes in. I got one row planted. Now it's time to string up another row. I started my stick here, put my tape measure there, and I'm going to go over 3 feet. So that is right here. And I'm going to mark that. I'm actually going to bring my string over from that first position and put it in the ground. Now I will go up to the other end. There's Mark sitting there working hard with me. I'll go to the other end and measure 3 feet from there. Which is right here. So I'm going to bring my string over. And now I'm going to eyeball it and decide if it looks like it's straight to me. I feel like the far end needs to come over a little bit, so I'm going to go move it. Okay, as you can see, my compost piles are beside the string, so I'm going to have to rake them over a little bit. I have a lot more compost on this row than I did the last, so I might end up moving some of that off, although I have a space here that doesn't have very much, so I'll bring it over. We just kind of brought the wheelbarrows out and dumped this in what I thought would be the area that we wanted them. So now we're perfecting it. It's so beautiful out here tonight. I was working with a friend canning all day, showing her how to use her electric canner like mine, and made something that I'd never made before, and if I like it, I'll be doing a video. Okay, now we need to make our ditch to plant the potatoes in. I'm just going to follow along the string with my hoe, and I'm going to go as deep as I can. I need to kind of push and pull at the same time because I don't want to pull all of my soil down to the other end. I want it to pile up on the sides. Kind of smooth that out a little. Now I'm going to go through one more time, see if I can get it any deeper. All right. Now I'll plant along that string. I'm digging deeper with my trowel and kind of pulling it up and going behind it and under it to keep the soil from falling back in on me. There's one. My next spot, I want to go as deep as I can without it being hard. I don't want to plant it in really hard soil, but there's a lot of loose soil here. Since we did have compost and plants in this area last year, so it had a little bit of life. Plus, we did the cover crops here. This soil really did do a good job as we were rototilling it, and it's really deep, loose, and nice. I did want to tell you, if you do have a small potato that you didn't cut, you want to make sure and put the chits of that or the eyes up when you plant it. So this part will go in the ground. I'll just keep planting along here and let you know when I'm done. Okay, I got all 3 rows of potatoes plus about a third of a row planted, and now I have 3 left that I'm going to put in this box. I shoveled up some of the compost that we had over here and put in the bottom of the box about 5 to 6 inches. And now I'm just going to take these potatoes and slightly bury them in this compost. Now, as they come up, I'll just shovel up some more compost and put on top of them and see how they do. Well, we got the potatoes all planted, and then it rained and watered them for us. And I wanted to give you an update on our sweet potatoes that we have trying to make sweet potato slips with, and I'll show you which ones are doing the best. Now, these are called Jersey potatoes, and as you can see, let me lift it up so the sun isn't so bright. It's rooting very nicely, but I don't see any leaves actually coming out on it yet. And this one is not doing anything. These are garnet sweet potatoes, and it does have a little root there. And I might, let me see if I can show you. I am seeing some places here where some leaves are going to come out. So that's one. This one is doing even better. It has more roots. Let me lift it up here. It definitely has all of these spots that are growing plants. So it's doing much, much better. Then we have the purple sweet potatoes that I grew last year. So these are from our surplus from last year. This one has slips that start way down here and come up through. So those will already be rooted more than likely. But what I'll do is each one of these sections that are connected to the potato, I will just take that off and put that in a jar of water and root this. And that'll take not very long at all, probably not even a week. They root pretty quickly. And then these are what I will use for my sweet potato slips. Now some of these will already be rooted, but as you can see, we have many options of slips here with all of these coming off of these two potatoes. These are purple. I want the orange. And then these over here, the jerseys, are a white sweet potato. So I'm hoping to have a variety, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Thanks so much for coming along on this adventure of potato planting this year. Every year we seem to do it just a tad bit differently. And this year we have incorporated the box method along with the in-ground method. So we'll see which one works better this year with the potatoes that we have planted. Thanks again, and until next time, blessings on you and yours.